Hey FLOSSTUBE, what's up? It's Leigh from Creative Leigh on 4th of July here in New Zealand. So yeah, that's the date. FLOSSTUBE number 82. I just spent 20 minutes ironing because I'm going to give you guys a where are we at halfway through the year WIP parade. What's been going on? Well, Wellington went in, I think last week we were in level 2 alert for COVID because we'd had that person from Sydney who had tested positive when they got back with the Delta variant. Got extended a couple of days, and then we went back down to level 1. So far we've had no community spread, so back to level 1, which for us is life is kind of normal, except we've got to scan, wear masks on public transport, and our border is largely closed. At the moment it's kind of closed to Australia as well because of their community outbreak in Sydney, and then there's some in, there's a couple of other states are a bit managing it as well. So yeah, don't know what's going to happen with Dad's flight. My ex-brother-in-law Jason, he had to cancel his because Queensland went into lockdown, a short-term lockdown on the Wednesday, I think, and he was meant to fly over on the Thursday. So, and they've extended their lockdown. I think he just was like, it's not going to work, so he's cancelled. He's going to go a bit later in the year. Dad, at this stage, flies out in 13 days, so we'll see what happens. Either he'll fly out or he won't fly out. Less of an issue if he gets stuck over there for a bit extra time because, you know, he's a retired gentleman. He doesn't have to come back for anything. He's got friends and neighbours who can clear the mailbox. But yeah, it's just life, isn't it? You can't, you just got to roll with the punches because it's out of our control. So I ended up having a good week socially because we're looked at level 2 we can't have things where you've got more than 100 people gathering, but it lifted in time for me to be able to go to Sweeney Todd with my friend, and it was fantastic. And a lovely little theatre. It was a packed house. The dude who played Sweeney was really good. The singing was excellent. The woman who played Mrs. Lovett, she was fantastic. I love kind of, I'm not going to say amateur theatre because I think it was a class above, you know, it wasn't like your high school production kind of thing. But small theatre where it's really intimate, the stage is really little, you know, you can see everything that's going on, minimal set design, just relying on really good acting and singing, and the music was great. But you could see the percussionist, and onto the rest of the stage the band was, and you could see the percussionist. They work hard, those percussionists. They're like, you know, 1 minute on the drums, next on the dingly thing, shaking something, knocking something. It was really good. So I had a really good time with that. And on Friday night, went round to our friends for dinner. She had a kitchen warming, aka finished the renovations, and she cooked us, she and her daughter cooked us an Ottolenghi feast. If any of you know Yotam Ottolenghi, he's just a UK-based Israeli, I think born in Israel or has Israeli heritage, and he's very good with vegetables. He does he's got a lot of vegetarian cookbooks. He's not a vegetarian. He's just like, he knows how to elevate a vegetable and make it taste really delicious. So, and she pulled together an Ottolenghi feast for us. It was fantastic. She did such a great job. So it was her first sort of dinner party in her new kitchen. So that was fun. Work has been horrendous. I'm on this new project. I've been asked to I've come on to take this project, which is on critical path, and need someone just to help get things going. And yeah, I had to escalate a whole lot of stuff on Friday and summarise all the risks and stuff that I've pulled together, and there's going to be a bit of a come to Jesus meeting on Monday about what does that mean, because this arm has promised something that this arm can't deliver, and they didn't talk together early enough. So we'll see how we go with that. I've got some suggestions, but I don't know what it means legally, around, you know, what the contract says versus what we can what the minimum viable product will be for day one, which is in less than 5 weeks. It's a little bit stressful. Drop everything else. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's just one of those ones where all I can do is call it out. I can't work miracles, right? So work has just been really hard. So I'm gonna have to do some this afternoon. Otherwise, everyone's doing okay. Let's get on with some stitching stuff. So I think last week I said, yay, I'm down to 11 WIPs. I found one that wasn't on my list, that I keep a list of notes on my phone. So actually, I was actually down to 12 WIPs after last week's finish. And then I found it. I put that WIP on my list, and that WIP was my Aube feathers from Rosewood Manor. I had not added that to the list when I started that during at the Christchurch Stitches gathering retreat thing. So that put me up to 12, and then I realised there was one, when I was going through that list, there was one that I had thought I had finished, and it was on my list. I was like, I'm sure I finished that. I hadn't finished it. So I went and found it, and I damn well finished it. So it's the Mandala Millifiori from Peppermint Purple, which I only had a tiny, tiny bit to do. And I had, in my head, I had finished it, because I talked about, I'm going to finish it and make it into a bag. I hadn't finished it. So stitched on 18 count Aida from Fortnight Fabrics. It was just a one-off that I won from a giveaway. So I finally finished it. Yeah, I've just initialed it down here. All I had to do was this little one here and this one here. And I did do a colour conversion. I changed the blues to different, because they wouldn't stand out on this fabric. The 2 blues, I swapped for 2 different blues. The purples I changed. There were 2 purples, I think. I swapped the pink for the orange, and then the orange for yellow. I don't know. I switched them all around, and yeah, I think it looks really interesting. I'm probably going to make this into a bag, or talk very, very nicely to a friend who makes bags, aka my lurker, Judith, whether she might be able to do something for me, which I would recompense her for, but I just don't know if I have I hate finishing, so, but I really, really like it, but I just think I'd like it as even a tote bag for shopping bag, not even a project bag. Just, I know that it would get kind of a little bit beat up eventually, but I just want to see it and use it frequently, and yeah, so that is finally another finish. Very excited to get that done. So that was, yeah, it didn't take very long to finish that at all. Excuse me while I have my cold brew. So that was my finish, and then because I realised that Aube feathers was missing from the list and that I hadn't done anything since retreat, I picked up Aube feathers. So I'm just going to work through these. So this kind of starts the WIP parade / what I've been stitching on. So the only other thing I've stitched on this week is Aube feathers. So that's from Rosewood Manor. It came out at Expo Market earlier in the year, and it is stitched with Sulky. You can get a Rosewood Manor Aube feathers Sulky thread pack, which has the six colours in it. And I'm keeping this in my one of my, oh Jesus, I'm sorry, one of my this is in my sassy bag that Judith made for me, because the girls are calling me sassy because I get a bit sarcastic and shit, I think. So and I love it. So it was very kind of her. So it's in my sassy girl Judith bag. Shall I show you the stitching? So I did quite a bit. It's all I've stitched on all week. And working from home a few days meant that I got some mornings and, you know, some extra stitching time in. So when you last saw this, I had stitched at retreat. I'd got the peacock body, that little bit of black either side of his head, and that one motif there. So I've done everything else this week. Crazy, huh? So on this side, there will be my initials down here. I'll do the personalisation last. This motif gets repeated there and here. A few more of these sort of green feathers around here. So I don't have a lot to do. I've done almost all of the black stitchings, a little bit on the other side of the motif, but having stitched ahead with quite a bit of the black and then having miscounted and had to frog some of that black several times, I kind of like to get the motifs in and then I can fit the black around. But yeah, it's looking really good. And this is on, just dropped the card, bear with. 32 count Pirongia mist from Country Stitch, and yeah, called for Sulky pack. Started it on the 22nd of May, the retreat. Yeah, probably, I mean, I'm going to put it away now, but I could see that would be another couple of weeks of focus stitching that would be done. So that is my first WIP. These are in no particular order. They're how they came off the shelf. If I drop one more thing, I'm just going to quit. So this one is the WIP in my little bag that Christine gave me when she stayed with me, the Wellington retreat, and it's a dodgy, probably stolen chart. So it's one of those ones that you find on Pinterest, and I kind of didn't realise at the time that if you see free chart doesn't necessarily mean it's free. So, and I don't know who it's from. I haven't been able to find it. If anyone does know, but anyway, it's a rooster. So I'm stitching this on a bit of fabric that Judith gave me, and it's supposed to be, I can't remember what it's supposed to be, 55 count, but it's not even. It's like a 56 by 60-ish, so they're going to be a bit skinny, but it's just a little sampler. There's alphabet in here. Can't remember what I wouldn't know. There's a little hair that will be a top. There's I've got the house on the prancing pony or whatever that is. So yeah, above the alphabet there's just a little hair and then two more of these flourishes. So I really just need to finish it, but I kind of misplaced it. And because it's my highest count I've ever stitched on, it was just ready to give it a go. And I'm using just a Gutermann sewing thread. In the colour 2704, so it's a cotton. The cotton have the yellow colour. And it is, and I'm gonna, once it's finished, I'm going to coffee tea dye it, whatever, because I just think it needs to be a little bit grungier than on this bright white fabric. I have an aversion to bright white fabric, unless it's bed linen, in which case bright white is fantastic, but like none of the whites in my house are bright white. They're all you know, winter white, warm white, black white, alabaster white. So that's my second WIP. I need to move a little bit quicker, right? And I haven't really been tracking when I started that, because it was more just to give it a go and see if I liked what stitching on a really high count fabric was like, and yeah, it was fine. Save the Stitches, the Liz Almond Blackwork from Blackwork Journey, on 28 count antique white Lugana, using some of the called for, but a couple of changes to some of the metallics and beads. And this was my January 1st start, and this is one that I won't get finished this year, mostly because it's quite big, and I have I'd rather finish a lot of other things, then I can focus on this, I think, as my main blackwork piece next year. I need to not start too many more blackwork pieces, and I am going to sneeze. Excuse me. Okay, so, and this is in a Judith bag that I bought last year with just the teal, it's not teal, is it? It's a aqua kind of blue. Sexy little mermaids, pin-up girl mermaids. I really like this bag. And it has a little crown on there, kind of match the little crowns the girls have got on their seahorses. So that is a freebie. So if you go to the website Blackwork Journey, it was originally a stitch along, a 12-part, I guess. I've finished 2 parts. I really enjoy stitching on this. it's quite, you get into a rhythm with it. It's like anything, it can be overwhelming until you just sit down and one stitch at a time. So I've done 2 parts, and there'll be a third part along here, and then 4 more rows and stuff. So yeah, that is a joy to work on. I don't know why I put the bag away. I just need to focus on other things, and then I think I will, yeah, this will be a piece next year that I'll focus on amongst the 50 starts. Okay, next up, this one needs to be finished soon. Will be Arcade by Long Dog Sampler, which I'm stitching on 36 count Geyser linen from Country Stitch, using PR 137 from Silks for You, DMC 500 and Quinac 085 blending filament. This I started in September 2020, so definitely need to get finished with this. I don't really have that much more to do. I'm not showing the chart. Oh, for anyone who doesn't know what this looks like, it's that. So Arcade, and I'm basically finished up to here. So I've just got that top bit to do, which is not a lot. Excuse me. This is quite big to show, so that's where I'm at with that. Am I on screen? Wait, there we go. That's where I got to last time. So I'm going to pick up my Modern Folk embroidery. I need to catch up 2 months now. I'm going to pick that up this week. And then once I've caught up with that, I think I'll pick up Arcade and push for a finish for that. So it was so nice to iron everything. So that's Arcade. What's next? Oh, okay, this one is the am I going to finish it, am I not going to finish it, which I decided I am going to finish it. Oh, Arcade was also in a Judith bag. This is one of her fundraising ones for Outpoured. So she, a local home, a cat, looking after cat place, rescue cats and things. And it has a matching little button thing on the zip and little kitties inside. Judith makes beautiful bags. So, this is one of my cheap and cheerful bags that I made. I do make floppy vinyl bags, which, yeah, just with fabric that I had. I do like this fabric, it's quite cool. This is from Cross Stitch Collectibles. Every month they have a free bookmark you can download, which is a section from one of their larger full coverage pieces. This one is called Fractal 95, so, and that's what it will look like. It's on my floss, and I've lost the card. Oh, the card, anyway, it doesn't matter. I think I started this in February 2020. I obviously haven't finished this. I did think about UFOing it, and then I've got so far that I really want to finish it. So I will finish it, it's just taking me a bit longer. So there we are there. I think because what I've decided is I'm going to stitch, because I was completing as I went, but the confetti is really painful because you might do one. So what I'm doing is I've changed from here, I've changed to I'm doing all of the big bubbles and the black all the way up, and then I'll come in with fill in, because then I can just use a whole thread and stitch all the way up to do the fill in, and that meant that this bit went a lot quicker than doing just row by row. So yeah, by focusing on the big pieces, they go quite pretty quickly, and then I get bang for my buck when I load up my thread, load up my needle with one colour of thread. So that is that. So I do have 3 full coverage pieces that are going to be a bit of a challenge to finish this year, but we'll get there. Speaking of full coverage pieces, the next 2 are Sunrise and Sunset from Carolyn Manning Designs, which I'm just doing the large pieces because these 2 came with smaller options as well. So I started these So Sunrise, I started on 22nd of December 2020, and then I decided, oh crap, I'll just do Sunset as well at the same time. So I started that 12th of January this year. And Sunrise is on, they're both on 20 count Aida from Tom and Lily Creations in France. Soleil is Sunrise, and Sunset is on Coral. Correct. Floss. So they are in also one of my own bags on my own vinyl front. Just random fabric that I had that I just had fun making. My bags are not as nice as Judith's. So Sunrise, they're both about a quarter, just over a quarter done. So here's Sunrise, and here is Sunset. So Sunset might be just shy of a quarter done, and I think they look fantastic. So they just need me to focus on them like anything. So yeah, these two along with the Fractal bookmark have, you know, the most to do on them, and because they're full coverage they obviously take a little bit longer. This is going to come out this week because I'm 2 months behind now. Well, July's just come out, and it's my Modern Folk Embroidery, the Fruit of Plenty, and the only reason I haven't done June's is because I just was too busy finishing other things. But yeah, so I'll pick that up and get at least June done this week. So that's where we saw it last time. I do love it. Well, I mean, I do, you know, when it's a symmetrical thing, I did stitch a little bit into July already. But yeah, June and July needs to happen. Because I do want to be able to finish this in December, when the December pattern comes out. And this is being stitched on, I don't know why I'm missing my little cards. I have little cards that go with all these, but when I show them, they don't always make it back in the bag because I'm really terrible at it. This is on, I do know, 40 count toy linen from, this upside down. I stitch up, so I normally stitch from the bottom up. It's weird, so I stitch this upside down. Yeah, 40 count toy linen from Country Stitch with DMC, and the colours 919 and 922. And stitching these sort of like, well, I mean this is 2 colours, but it just goes so fast because you don't have to worry about what colour you're stitching. Right, you saw this the other week. This one is Antique Repeat Motif Border Sampler from My Treasure Island on Etsy on 16 count Gilded Opal Aida that originally came from Mystic Fabrics that I bought on an upload. Using a partial conversion in DMC. I'm stitching this one, which is eventually I'm gonna make into a drum. And I have the fabric to stitch the other bit of it, which, yeah, we'll see. And that's where you saw it last week. I think it looks really good. It's just horrible to stitch on. I love the saturation of it and how vivid and bold it is. I love the kind of folky look to it. Right, it is that one. I have, so once I've got Arcade done, then this will come out to get a bit more love. It's Oriental Lady Grace by Joan Elliot, which I am stitching on 32 count linen in the colourway Taupo, also from Country Stitch. We use a lot of Country Stitch because A, local, B, fabulous. And yeah, call for DMC. So started in February, and I gave her a little bit of love recently. So it wasn't that long ago that you saw her, but it's looking really good on this fabric. And I had I don't usually do back stitch as I go, but I am decided to do back stitch as I go. I really, really am looking forward to getting into her. So I've kind of got that bit, yeah, this bit and that bit done, and now I'm about to start on, yeah, when I pick it up, we'll start up on her, the big long sleeves, which are going to be fantastic. So that is that, and I think, do I only have two more WIPs? So, this one you saw recently because I made an effort and got the third row done. So, Peppermint Purple, Blackwork, Turkish tiles, and doing a slight conversion, like a total conversion. I changed both the blues and I swapped the beige for an orange. This was a sale last year. So I did that last row the other couple of weeks ago. And to remind you, that's where we're at. So this just needs another, 3 days of focus and I can get that finished. But Motif embroidery comes first, and actually the light's really good today. I've got natural light because it's actually, the sun's actually shining. So I haven't given the weather report. The sun is shining. It's a cool day, but I've got windows open. It's not a cold day, and the light and lovely blue sky with fluffy clouds. So maybe I'll get grass this week. They can't cut the turf. They can't cut the sod for my grass when it's too wet. So, and all we've had is rain. So bloody hell. Anyway, so I think that's looking really good. So yeah, that needs another week. This is on a mystery beige Lugana. I think it's 28 count Lugana in like a, yeah, I don't know. It was just picked up from a friend, I think. And then also in this bag, oh, I forgot. Oh, no, it doesn't matter. Go back to it. And then I've also got Peppermint Purple Blackwork SAL 2021. I have, which you saw, I haven't done anything since you last saw it, hence it's not a WIP, it's in the WIP parade, and that's where I was at. Again, the light's really lovely today. So I'm about 3 weeks behind, but I usually wait till there's about 5 weeks and then I sit down and do it because they're so quick. It's annoying for me just to do a little bit. I don't like to stitch little bits. I like to stitch lots. You might have understood that. So I would rather stitch 5, 6, 7 weeks all in one go and make a morning of it or an evening of it than pick something up and it takes me 20 minutes. I'm like, what was the point of that? So, and I'd rather show you, yeah. I like seeing progress. I'm a progress stitcher. I think we've talked about that before. Because I like seeing progress. I'm not as motivated by, oh, I did 12 stitches on this. That doesn't motivate me for my stitching. This is, oh shit, I just zipped up the floss. Okay. So this is, these are in my, just a travel map bag, which New Zealand made it onto the map because it often gets left off of the map. I mean, it's a bit of a blob. The Stewart Island isn't really there. They've kind of merged Stewart Island in with the South Island, but yeah. And what's on the inside of that one? Oh, just a very, very dark navy dot. And this is in my Japanese bag. This fabric was given to me by my sister-in-law, ex-sister-in-law, fabric from Japan, just matched with a bright pink fabric, but yeah. So she'd given me, it was actually had been hemmed, it was a sort of a tablecloth thing, which I'm like, that's not my thing, but it makes a really cool Japanese bag. And did I show you that one? Did I show you my orange project? So that's my Motif embroidery, because orange is in my sunflower bag that I made. So, and I've got 4 or 5 empty bags because I've been working really hard. I wonder where that's from. I think that's from my, yeah. So those are my WIPs. Things that are, yeah, so things I know that I'm going to get finished this year because that's my aim, to finish as much as I can. Arcade, The Monofolk embroidery I'll get caught up, and then I plan to finish that by the end of the year. The Blackwork SAL I'll finish by the end of the year. Like, it was easier. I'll have the border mostly done. The Turkish tiles will get finished. That little rooster thing I'll get finished. I think the ones that I'm gonna probably still have next year. Oh yeah, this will get finished. These three, I'm probably not, I'd be surprised if I got all three of those finished. Arcade will be finished. That Blackwork one. Yeah, so it's going to be Save the Stitches and the 3 full coverage I'll probably still have at the end of the year. So I did buy a couple of things. So Laura, Washer Cracker, from Palmerston North, she started making or selling what she's now calling Project Cozy. She changed the name. I talked about how I bought one last week when it arrived. So I bought the Paris roses one and the fabric inside. It's very nice. So this fits A4. So New Zealand, we use A4. So you can fit an A4 chart in there. So I will intend to, as I stitch on my Elizabeth Wautier charts, they're all, you know, they're all kind of that size. But all the projects will fit nicely here. So as I stitch on each of my French charts, I'll use this bag for my French charts. So Handmade in New Zealand by Laura at Watercracker. Here's her Facebook page if you're interested. She's got a few up there for sale now. They're really nicely made. She got it to me really quickly. She's called them a pattern cozy, gentle hand wash, dry flat, warm iron. So it's really cool. So that arrived, and then I did buy a chart. I just went looking through my favorited stuff on Etsy because I felt like buying something. So I got Rachel Holmes from Heartstrings Sampling Design by Beth Twist. And the thing with this is that it is not a reproduction, but it's in the style of a reproduction. So inspired by an old sampler. So she's taken bits and pieces and stuff from that. Another thing I really, really love about her description of how she does her crosses is the same way I do them, top left to bottom right, and then top right to bottom left, which most charts have them that way. Because I stitch cat-handed, I guess. So my intention with this will be, like many of my things, I mean, I love that it's got specialty stitches because I love a specialty stitch. But I'm going to use my own stuff, and you know, I'll change the name. Anyway, I'm going to use my own stuff. This is how I'm currently storing all my over dyes and my hand dyes and my non-DMC. Here is cotton. I've got on this ring, so I've got my Gentle Arts on here. Yeah, that's my Gentle Arts, and Classic Colourworks on that one. So that's just some, I don't buy all of them. Then I've got Nina's threads. So there's just a few Nina's threads that I bought. Some that I just bought because they were beautiful, and then some I bought for the Halloween Quaker, and that was a freebie one that I got sent. So got some Nina's threads. Then I've got one random Valdani, which I absolutely hate stitching with Valdani. Weeks dyes are my weeks that I own. These are ones that aren't in kits, by the way. There are some that are already kitted up. And then I've got my Tom and Lily that I'm starting to collect, and I still don't have June. It must be close, right? Oh, because I've seen it and it's beautiful. So my Tom and Lily at the moment, I've got April and I've got May. But look how beautiful they are, and they need to be used. And I feel like my Tom and Lily are going to work out really well on this sampler because there's pinks and there's some soft blue and some soft greens and some. So my intention is to start with this, and then I'm even at the point where, let's say there's 2 pinks, but if you need 2 skeins, then I'll just use 3 pinks because I have 3 pinks. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to start kitting that up. So once I decide on what fabric I'm going to use and stuff, yeah, that's going to be really cool. Start using some of that stuff. So that's that bundle of joy. And then I have this bundle of joy. And on here is all my Victorian motto, which I'm not going to be getting anymore because basically it all went to hell in a handbasket. And even though she hasn't said that she's cancelled the clubs, she kind of has, and by saying shipping's been really hard, so now we're going to have stuff ready and you can order it on this online, and when we release it we can ship it pretty much within 24 hours. And I'm like, you could at least have told people you were stopping. Anyway, I think they got into a bit of a shambles and they just didn't acknowledge that and didn't tell people, didn't communicate. We're very forgiving if you communicate with us, especially us down here in the Antipodes where we're used to waiting 6 months for shit to turn up. But don't just take our money and not tell us anything what's going on. So I'm kind of like, it's a shame because this stuff's beautiful. I'm not saying I won't buy. Oh, well, anyway, when you go onto their website now, it doesn't ship to bloody New Zealand anyway. So I'm a bit over it all. I am quite pissed off about the lack of communication. Anyway, that's my Victorian motto. I will use it, and then when it's gone, I will have a pity party and I'll get over it. So Fabulous Red, and then that's fabulous. I don't know why that came off. Apparently I performed a magic trick and managed to get off the ring. So yeah, I need to work out a better way to store this. So Fabulous Red, that was the variegated collection, and then these were just Kit Club that came through, and I've just got them sorted sort of in neutrals, greens, purples and reds and stuff. And then my other beautiful ring is my silk ring, which I've got Silks for You. Now these are the non-skeins, so I've got partial skeins that were sent to me by Barb. Thank you again, I still love it, and I've started using them in projects. And then I've got some Belsoir that Judith gave me. I'm waiting for the perfect project for that. And then here is my Silks for You colour of the month. They're in number order now. And then I've got my first 2 months that I've ordered of Silks of the month. And then June should be on its way really soon. So basically, I don't buy things just to look at them, I buy things to use them. So I'll be kitting some more stuff up now that I've got choices, and this just brings me so much joy. It feels so nice and I love it. Yeah, so that is how I'm currently storing stuff, but those are full, and I need to work out a different way of, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to store. I don't know how to store them yet. They're just hanging on those rings, but they're getting too full and cumbersome. But that is all my beautiful flosses that I use, right? I make sure I use, I'm trying to use, so yeah. But I'm getting, so what am I getting now? Just the Tom and Lily cotton and the Silks for You. Those are the 2 floss clubs that I'm in, so, and they're always a surprise. That's everything. That was really random. So hope you enjoyed the WIP parade and me showing you beautiful flosses. That's all I got. So yeah, next week tune in, same time, same bat channel, and I will be hopefully a bit up to date with my modern folk embroidery and who knows what else. Until then, as always, don't let your needles rust. Ciao.